Hidely ho, good neighbors. Welcome. Second installment of For What It's Worth. I'm your host, Ryan Neff, here on the Cole County Entertainment Network. I forgot to do this the last show. Let me just preface this by saying I am not a political analyst. I am not a pundit. I am not a reporter. I am just an old fuddy-duddy who follows the issues. Not always right, wrong, indifferent, whatever. I am not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent. So I'm like right smack dab here in the middle. I try to hear both sides of the argument, if you will. A lot to talk about. Welcome. If you're going to tune into this later on, welcome. So we're in another shutdown. Been in a shutdown. Day 42, 45, 46, 47. Just tack on a number. Of course, the jabrones down there in Washington, D.C., they cannot come to a conclusion. Although now, over the weekend, it came out that the TSA agents and stuff are going to get paid anyway, which is a good thing. But if President Trump had the ability to do that all along, what's all this bullshit about, by the way? Is it all about ICE? I forgot to pull up a clip that I had. Why do you want to fund ICE anyway? I can't remember the senator's name. ICE had $82 billion at their disposal when all this shit started. When Trump took over office, ICE had $82 billion to their disposal. So what do you want to keep funding ICE for? If it's you didn't go through $82 billion in a year. And they just continue to go back and forth on the left and the right. Oh, the left's too extreme. Oh, you have the right is too extreme. Come on, man. So I think it was on Friday when they could not come to a resolution. Of course, Mike Johnson and his cronies, and of course, every Republican has their head buried up Trump's ass for some reason. I don't know why. But they do. Maybe he has something on all of them. I don't know. But Mike Johnson, again, with his cronies behind him, after they could, it was passed and it came to him, the bill, Department of Homeland Security. This is what he came out.
The Republicans are not going to be a party to this. They have taken hostage the funding processes of government so that they can impose their radical agenda on the American people, and we can't have any part of it. This gambit that was done last night is a joke. I'm quite convinced that it can't be that every Senate Republican read the language of this bill, and it is unconscionable to me that the Democrats would force some sort of negotiation at 3 o'clock in the morning and try to hoist this upon the American people and then get on their jets and go home for their holiday and pretend and think that we're going to go along with that. So we're going to do something different. We're going to do the responsible thing. Republicans are going to continue to govern and do the right thing morally, legally, and politically. What we are going to present and what we're going to vote on this floor, our Rules Committee is working through this right now. We're going to put a clean, simple, continuing resolution that will go until May 22nd. It's just a number of weeks to allow for all those who sacrificially serve the country and protect other Americans, all these agencies, 10 agencies under the Department of Homeland Security, will continue at their current funding levels to make sure that they are protected. We're going to send that over to the Senate, and we hope that they'll. The Republicans are not going to be a party to this. They have taken.
Just a little bit of what he said. I just don't get it. I really don't. Boo-hoo. You woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning, or they kept you up till 3 o'clock in the morning. It's just like that, it's like the buffer on your screen. And it's all people on the Capitol are doing is just buffering everything. And it just circles and it continues to circle. And it's a joke. Then he was pressed on it by a reporter. I forgot to get the reporter's name. Basically, reporters saying people are sick of it.
Selling their plasma.
Yeah.
At what point is a leader on either side going to stand up and say, we have a path forward that everyone will agree to? This vote today will extend the shutdown under any circumstance.
No, it won't. No, it won't.
And it was
If
a
it,
unanimous vote by
thank you. Let me
Republicans
answer the
and
question. I'm glad you brought it up. The House Republicans have now voted that today will be the fourth time to fund the Homeland Security. This is not party blame game. This is a record. You can hold up the record. Look at the Democrats. They're voting over and over. Yesterday afternoon, we gave them a chance to fund Homeland Security. You know how many House Democrats voted yes? 4 of them. They want to use people as pawns. People are not pawns. These are workers who are sacrificially serving the country, many of them without pay, to make sure that you and your families are safe. And we're done with it. This is not a political blame game. This is one party doing the job and getting the government funded and another that's using people as pawns. We're not going to do that. Listen, we're going to send it over there, and you can see what they do. If this is not USEED and they don't do it, the president has shown leadership. He's going to fund TSA agents. We'll get that covered. But we have the rest of the country to take care of. We're not asking them to do anything heroic. These aren't partisan games. We're not adding bells and whistles to this. It is a clean continuation of funding to make sure that the most basic responsibility of government is fulfilled. And we'll see how that goes and see what they do.
So it's just going to be a blame game back and forth. No matter how he tries to spin doctor it, it's just going to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's all this is. It's a pissing match. It's a pissing match. I've got my ball that I brought to the game. We don't want to use your ball. I'm going to take my ball and go home. Same thing on the other side. I brought a newer ball to the game. But we don't like that ball. So they're going to take their ball and go home. And then they all go on vacation. Doesn't matter who it is, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. They all break for Easter. Their ass shouldn't be breaking for Easter. Every one of them across the board. Democrat, Republican, no matter who. You got to keep your ass in Washington, D.C. You don't get to go anywhere on vacation. In the sector, private or public, if you're at your job and you don't have a job done on that day when you're supposed to have it done, you don't get to go home. You have to stay until the job's done. It's no different. Still trying to work out some glitches. So I can only download so many videos, but this is what Cory Booker had to say. No, I'm sorry, Hakeem Jeffries.
The Trump Republican shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. Republicans have decided for weeks now to force TSA agents to work without pay, inconvenience millions of Americans, and create chaos at airports all across the country. This could end and should end today. There is a bipartisan bill that has been sent over from the Senate that would reopen the non-controversial parts of the Department of Homeland Security, make sure TSA agents are paid, and end the chaos at airports throughout the nation. The bipartisan bill sent over by the Senate has been supported by every single Democrat and every single Republican as it made its way over to the House of Representatives. House Democrats are prepared to support the bill to end the Trump Republican shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. Make sure TSA agents are paid. Stand up for FEMA and for the Coast Guard and for our cybersecurity professionals. And stop inconveniencing Americans. which is being intentionally done by Donald Trump and House Republican extremists. And now we have this bipartisan bill
Oh,
sent over by the Senate that House Democrats are prepared to support. If that bill is brought to the floor today, it will pass. And the Trump Republican DHS shutdown will be over.
so that's what Hakeem Jeffries had to say in response. And again, it's just a pissing match. I don't like this. Send it back. It's like somebody brings you a cheeseburger at a restaurant. It's perfect. And then you had your friend look at it and he's like, oh no, man, that's not well done enough. You should send it back. That's what it's like. It's like being at a restaurant. That's too much ketchup. Not enough mustard, and you take it back, and then it's put mustard on it, and like back off on the ketchup. That's too much mustard. It's like 4-year-olds, dude. 4-year-olds. So they're just going to keep going back and forth. Nothing's going to get done. Period. I think it's a good idea that TSA agents are getting paid, especially with the travel shit that's going on right now in the lines and whatnot. And we're approaching the summer season. So all that bullshit's going on. And there's some other stuff that Hakeem Jeffries said. But again, I'm still trying to work out some kinks and whatnot. When it comes to the war, of course, there's just all kinds of shit floating around now. People making comments and they back off the comments, and then he said this, well, he shouldn't have said that. Well, he really meant this. And if you saw Caroline Leavitt's presser today, they're just it's a mess. It's a mess. And I will guarantee you, Trump, Hegseth, Rubio thought this war would be over in a month. They didn't expect this. They miscalculated. And of course, there's all kinds of excuses about, oh, we did it because they had nuclear capabilities and they would have had nuclear capabilities. Well, Jesus Christ, 9 months ago in June of last year, you said that they wiped out that nuclear capability. And then Trump comes out and says, well, if you wouldn't have done this, they would have attacked Israel with a nuclear. And then last week, J.D. Vance came out and said this.
When I say options, I think it's important the American people know options for what? And it's options to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. You talk about people who walk into a crowded supermarket and have a vest on, and they blow up the vest and a couple of people get killed, and that's a terrible tragedy. What happens when what's on the vest is not something that can kill a couple of people, but can kill many, many tens of thousands of people? That is the most important American national security objective that exists for any administration at any time, is you don't want the worst people in the world to have a nuclear weapon. That's why the president is doing this. That's why the president cares so much about this particular issue.
Now we're talking about people with vests, nuclear vests, by the way. Come on, man. And of course, they continue to blame previous administrations. And I had this conversation with somebody that's actually in the military Friday at a local cigar lounge establishment that I frequent, the Leaf and Bean Cigar Lounge over there in Florence, New Jersey. If we supposedly have all this oil at our disposal, Trump says in abundance, then what the hell are we over there for? Seriously, they're running out of excuses to come up with. First it was nuclear weapons, that they were close. Then it was, oh, well, they were going to attack Israel. We had to help. They just continue to come up with bullshit excuses. And of course, I've seen clips where Trump supporters are like, well, we'll deal with the high gas prices for now. You know, we'd rather be safe than deal with the high gas price. Okay. Okay. I hope you're going to say that the same thing 2 months from now. They miscalculated the Strait of Hormuz. I think they miscalculated how many drones Iran had. I'm not saying Iran has a great regime. They didn't. It's fucking barbaric. And the people of there have suffered and suffered and suffered. But a lot of Iranians love the regime. But again, I think Hegseth and those buffoons miscalculated this. Period. And I think I had another clip somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. No, it is not here. So I don't know exactly what happened to it. So, and then one of Trump's cabinet meetings last week, where he's supposed to be talking about serious issues, by the way. This is what Trump did.
So I came here, they have $1,000 pens. And you know, you hand pens out, you're signing and you hand them out, you're handing them to all these people. Sometimes you have 30, 40 people. And they were $1,000 a piece. Beautiful pen, ballpoint. 1,000, it was gold, silver, gorgeous. But I'm handing out to kids that don't even know what they are. What is this, mommy? It's kids. They're getting a pen for $1,000. They have no idea what it is. And I feel guilty because I'm like, you know, I'm by nature, I don't, you know, it's the government. I love the government like I love myself economically. I want to save money. So I'm saying, this is crazy. And it had another problem. They didn't write well. So I take it out and I sign and there's no ink. And I got all you people looking and you're saying, there must be something wrong with Trump. And I'm signing and there's no ink in the pen and it costs $1,000.
What in the fuck are you talking about? This is a cabinet meeting to talk about serious shit. And the American people want to know what your plan is going forward, not only when it comes to the war, health, education. What are you going to do about grocery prices? What's the plan on Homeland Security? They don't want to hear about your fucking pens. Like, seriously, people wanted to talk about Joe Biden and him going off and he was not right. And I said the same thing about him. A year and a half before he left office, you could see the signs. Just forget about the politics shit. Is his family not concerned about his well-being and his health? And some of the shit that he does and says? Talking about fucking pens, man. Let me just play it again for you.
So I came here, they have $1,000 pens. And you know, you hand pens out, you're signing and you hand them out, you're handing them to all these people. Sometimes you have 30, 40 people. And they were $1,000 a piece. Beautiful pen, ballpoint. 1,000, it was gold, silver, gorgeous. But I'm handing out to kids that don't even know what they are. What is this, mommy? It's kids. They're getting a pen for $1,000. They have no idea what it is. And I feel guilty because I'm like, you know, I'm by nature, I don't, you know, it's the government. I love the government like I love myself economically. I want to save money. So I'm saying, this is crazy. And it had another problem. They didn't write well. So I take it out And I sign, and there's no ink. And I got all you people looking, and you're saying there must be something wrong with Trump. And I'm signing, and there's no ink in the pen, and it costs $1,000.
Again, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the leader of the free world. Ay, 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 ay. Just it boggles the mind sometimes. Supposedly, the word is that eventually they're going to put boots on the ground. As far as President Trump's not calling it a war, it's a conflict. Okay. Just some other stuff from today. Headline: Destruction of U.S. radar aircraft may hamper ability to spot Iran threats. I bet you didn't take that into consideration. The Michigan synagogue attack was Hezbollah-inspired act of terrorism, FBI says. I watched the news conference today. You can probably check it out on YouTube or wherever. I would encourage you to watch it, because this will be happening more and more. So if you see something suspicious or strange, you come something across Facebook or somebody's site has that kind of propaganda and rhetoric, report it, please. I'm just looking over some other stuff here. The wait time is now at airports. Looks like they've come down drastically. But I just wanted to touch on what went on last week, and then this week. And I thought that I had upload this to one video of a former general in the military. I wonder if I can pull it up here, and I have to apologize. Because I'm still trying to learn the ins and outs of certain stuff when it comes to the show. Let me see if I can pull it up. Give me just a second, and I should be able to. Again, it was a former general. Hegseth. Now, oh, here we go. It's a retired major general reacting to Pete Hegseth's comments.
We got to tie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country.
Those are the words of a potential war right there. And that is not the advice and counsel and direction that any Secretary of Defense should be providing our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines. It puts them actually in greater danger. The Secretary of Defense is a disgraced major who was kicked out of the DC National Guard. He has no qualifications whatsoever to be the Secretary of Defense other than his extreme loyalty to the president. Again, those are the words of a potential war criminal.
We also don't fight stupid.
There you have it. And I can tell you this, my friend who is in the military said that most of the people in the military cannot stand Hegseth. Can't stand Trump, but not to the extent that they can't stand exit. And Rubio's not far behind, because Rubio talks out of his ass too. There are some Democrats that talk out of their ass. They all talk out of their ass, most of them, to be quite honest with you. But the problem is, and I'll say this again, and I say it to everybody, the problem is everybody in Washington, D.C., representatives, senators, congressmen, cabinet, just whatever. They think that you, the voter, they think 90% of you are stupid. You don't keep up on the issues. You don't question and pressure. Go on YouTube, go on TikTok to some of the voters that they interview. Why'd you vote for Trump? Because we need a dictator. Why'd you vote for this person? Because he said he was going to give me a free car. That's the mentality. So I covered the basis of what I wanted to cover today. I will try and do as many of these as I can. Usually it's going to just be Monday, but maybe it'll be Monday, Thursday. I don't know yet. I am trying to line up some guests. Nothing right now. So I'm going to end it there. Again, questions, comments, criticisms, all welcome. Coming up at 7 o'clock here on the Cole County Entertainment Network, it's another edition of Early Evening Sports Buffet with the Ginch. I am Sid Ginch. Ryan Neff, your host. I believe Patterson Avenue Fanatics is on tonight. Don't know what they'll be discussing, but I'm sure it'll be interesting and informative. So I will see everybody at the top of the hour.